As John Irwin explains in his book, Inspiring the Best in Students, the way students perceive teachers, school, and other students can have a dramatic impact on their behavior. As educators, we can teach students to be aware of perceptions and help them break down barriers and develop acceptance of students who think, look, sound, or act differently than they do. To begin, let's take a brief look at the perceptions traffic light activity that John did with the Louisville teachers. Here, we will see this activity conducted by teacher Molly Kelly with her first grade students.
Today, everybody's going to get a mystery envelope, and there's 2 pictures inside each packet. Everybody's picture is different. And your job today, when I call you by name, is you're going to place your picture on one of these colors. Now, I'm going to need your help. When I say green, what do you think of? Ethan? Happy. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Something happy, something that makes you feel good inside. But when I say red, what do you think of? Alexis Petrillo? Sad. Yeah, I think of something sad. Anything else? Noah?
Mad.
Mad. Show me a mad face. Show me a sad face. Show me a happy face. What color is happy, Peyton? What color is sad, Jacqueline?
Red.
Yes. Now, what would yellow be? We know it's not, are you okay? We know it's not red and sad or mad, and we know it's not happy. What could yellow be? Zachary?
Maybe mad or happy.
It's not mad or happy. What could yellow be? Corbin?
Kind of mad or kind of.
Not kind of mad or kind of happy. It can't be any of those. It's just kind of in
Between.
Yeah, it's kind of in between. You really don't feel anything about it. It's like a big zero, nothing. Okay? So, I'm going to pass you an envelope, but don't open it up. You have to wait for a magic word for me to tell you to open it up. You can't even peek. Okay? Shh, 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 shh. Let's see. Christian, would you pass out some envelopes? Okay. Now, I want you to watch me, because when I toss you the ball, when I say your name and I toss you the ball, then you can do this. You're going to take 2 pictures out of your envelope. That's all anybody got is 2. And you're going to take the 2 pictures out of your envelope, and you're going to look at them, and then you're going to come up to our 3 circles. Kind of looks like what? What does it remind us of? Brianna? What does this look like? Help her out, Christian. Who can help us out? Kyle.
A stoplight.
Yeah, it does. It kind of reminds us of a stoplight. That's what you're going to say, wasn't it? Yeah. These are my 2 pictures. So when I see this puppy, oh, it makes me happy. When I see the train set, I kind of feel neutral. It's not one of my most favorite things to do unless it was a real train. If it was a real train, then I would put it on green. So I'm going to toss the ball to someone, and that's your job. Oh, wait a minute. Back up. This is what I want you to do. I'm going to clap my hands 3 times. I want you to look at your pictures and then put them right back on your envelope in front of you so I can toss you the ball. And I'm going to look for people that are following directions. So I'm going to clap 3 times. You can look in your envelope and take your 2 pictures out and set them right back in front of you. Mackenzie's listening. Jasmine's listening. Ethan is following directions. Peyton is ready. Now, I was watching your faces, and when some of you were looking at your photographs, your pictures, I could see your face change. Some of you had smiles. Some of you actually, one of you actually had a frown, so I'm kind of curious why you frowned. But I'm going to throw this ball. I'm going to say your name first, so please watch because that's your job. And you're going to tell us, you're going to come up here and put your pictures on either green for happy, yellow for kind of like 0, doesn't make you feel happy or sad, and red for sad or mad. You ready? I'm going to call Jasmine first. Are you ready, Jasmine? Bring your 2 pictures up. What are your 2 pictures?
A cat and 2 superheroes.
Okay, so you put them down where you think you feel. How do you, okay, very nice. Do you like cats? Yeah. And what do you feel about superheroes?
Kind of.
Like I do about the train set? Okay, Jasmine, I want you to choose a friend. You're going to say their name, then toss the ball. Shh, 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 shh. Bring your pictures up, Andrew. You can choose your own circles. Oh, very good. So tell us, why did you like the summer one?
Because they were playing in the sprinkler.
Yeah. And how did you feel about this one?
Sad.
Yeah, she does kind of look sad, doesn't she? She looks like she's what? Pulling that blanket over her. She looks like she's hiding, doesn't she? Okay, Andrew, pick a friend. They need to be whole body listening. So tell me what made you happy.
Flowers.
Very good. And you don't, why did you put that in the middle of the 2 boys? Probably because you just didn't feel anything about it? Okay, toss it to a friend. It's a way of understanding the differences among people. I mean, for them to be successful not only in education, but as they mature into adulthood, they have to understand, to have that compassion, understand that everybody is a little bit different, and therefore everybody will get along a little bit better.
Now let's return to Lockport, New York, where John discusses perceptions and stereotypes with a group of high school students.
The next thing we're going to talk about is all about the world of perceptions, how we perceive people. And thank you. You're still kind of revved up, aren't you? A little bit. You got the adrenaline going. No, it's all about perceptions and how we try to simplify the world. Baby's brain is is just overwhelmed with information coming in from the real world. You know, little babies, they're just little blobs of senses. They're just senses, right? They're just not much going on in their brain, but they're sensing everything. They're feeling stuff, they're smelling stuff, they're hearing stuff, they're seeing stuff, and they're trying to make sense of their world. Eventually, they start figuring out that this blob that's in front of them, with 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, is a face, and they make sense of the face. That simplifies their world a little bit. They start saying, oh, that's a face. And they start paying attention to things that are meaningful to them. And as we go through life, we're trying to simplify the world as best we can so we can make sense of it. Right now, you're picking up smells, maybe not strong smells, but we're smelling stuff, we're seeing stuff, we're hearing things. There's the fan, people walking by in the hallway. If you listen very carefully, you might even hear cars going by. There's lots of sights, there's lots of colors and things that we could pay attention to. But what our brain learns to do is to focus on the meaningful, the important stuff. And it takes a long time for our brains to do that. That's the good thing that our brain does. It simplifies the world so we can make sense of it. Sometimes it oversimplifies the world in ways that can be destructive. Stereotyping is one of those ways that our brain tries to use to simplify the world so we can make sense of it. Okay, so we're going to use the class meeting format, which is define the topic, personalize the topic, and then challenge the topic. So the defining question is, what are stereotypes? Do you know what a stereotype is? Talking frog. Who is it? Anybody have the talking frog?
Taylor.
Taylor. Talking frog. Who could define stereotype Kyle?
It's a generalization about a group of people.
Very nice. A generalization about a group of people. Tom, you want to add to that?
I was going to use the exact same term, a generalization, just an overview, an oversight, maybe something you've heard from somewhere else and you've never thought to challenge it. It's just what you have in your mind is your definition of something.
Okay, okay, nice. Anybody want to add to that? Okay, there's a definition in this, in my book. I think it you pretty much encapsulated it. Let's see, stereo, how do you look things up in a, oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, Merriam-Webster's tells us that a stereotype is a standardized mental picture that is held in common by a group that represents an oversimplified opinion or prejudiced attitude. So you pretty much nailed it. Okay, so that's what stereotypes are. Who are some people we stereotype in America? We stereotype Asian people. Well, let's not talk about the specific stereotypes. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so we stereotype Asians. Who else gets stereotyped?
Mexicans.
Okay, we get so racial stereotyping.
Religious.
We have there's what do you call it? Nationality or nationality stereotyping by nationality. What other?
I don't know who picked.
Anybody. Looks like
No.
something.
Muslims, I guess? I don't know, that's...
Okay, religious stereotype, Muslims?
Personality.
Like,
People like the jocks or
oh,
yeah.
okay, so those are other kinds of stereotype. Groups of kids, the jocks, okay?
Gender?
Gender stereotyping.
Blondes.
Blonde stereotyping. Okay. All right, so, I mean, there's age stereotyping, all those old people. Oh, she's not here. Oh, bummer. Are stereotypes true?
No.
Okay, let's get that out first. And then now let's talk about some of the funny stereotypes that we are supposed to represent. So, I'm a male. What are some stereotypes about men? We're insensitive. Okay, what else? We're insensitive. What else can we say about men?
They're women haters. They think they're dominant over women.
Okay, they think
they're
that-
more powerful than women.
All right, they're prejudice against women. Okay. What are some other male
Let's get a
stereotypes?
male to say something.
They're smelly and
Ew.
unclean. Unclean.
Unclean, smelly.
That we can fix everything.
That we're good with it. We're good at fixing stuff.
We don't need to ask for direction.
We don't need to ask. Yeah, we don't ask for direction. No, we need to. We just don't.
They changed the BOF stuff, like a lot of times.
Okay. All right. So.
They're macho.
Okay. Yeah.
They have to be macho. They have to be macho.
They gotta be macho. They gotta be manly men. Okay. I am over middle-aged, so I'm past 50. What are some stereotypes about people over 50? You guys are really good at these. Okay.
Old man.
Old man. Okay. What about old people? What can we say about us old
Oh, I got one.
farts?
They all drive Buicks and go really slow.
Okay. What else can we say about old people?
They're racist.
They're racist. We're all racist. All right.
They can't drive very good at all.
Okay. Kim.
They can't do stuff, like they can't go out and
Can't do stuff. Okay.
Well, that's what I
Kim's got a burning one over here. She just can't wait.
They're mean.
They're mean.
Yeah.
Cranky and old. Old and cranky.
They're gonna break a bone easily.
They're gonna what? Break a bone. They're gonna fall down and break a hip.
They love to tell a story and they're always boring.
Let me tell you
Always
about
long.
when I
Yeah.
was a boy.
They listen to different music
Mm.
than we do.
Yes, bad music.
They always carry hard candy with them.
They carry hard. Why, how did you know? Just happen to have a Jolly Rancher in my pocket. Have you ever experienced being a victim of stereotyping? Or, you know, we have different people from different races and ethnicities and so forth in here. Have you ever experienced any kind of stereotyping? I see nodding behavior.
That Asians eat cats.
Okay.
And that we're all like really super smart.
Especially in what subjects?
Math and science.
Math, physics, yeah, okay. My son's roommate is from Malaysia. He's Chinese, but he's from Malaysia. And I said, you know, I caught myself in a stereotype. I heard he was a piano major. So in my mind, all Asian piano players are classical pianists. Now he's into like techno music and that kind of stuff. So I caught myself. I said, "Oh, I can't believe I still get caught by my own little stereotypes once in a while."
Isn't there like a pianist that's who does that? Like I forgot his like Yo-Yo Ma.
Well, no, he's a cellist.
Yes,
cellist.
but he does like a lot of things. He doesn't just do classical. He like mixes.
Yes, he does all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Other. I'm short. I'm white. I have blonde hair, and I'm Irish.
Therefore, you are.
So therefore, I am hot-headed. Like I am hot-headed. I'm stupid.
Uh-huh.
I don't like black people or any other race.
Is that because you're short?
No, that's because and like the shortness also comes in with like the temper and the fact that I'm not strong.
Ah.
Somebody can take me on right now. I'll flip them over my shoulder.
Okay,
so
well, good. Don't
mess with me.
Okay.
Because I'm a girl, I'm weak.
Weak.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a good one.
Well, I have a lot of stories to tell. I'll just tell one or two. Like that we all like chicken. I know black people do not like. Not all of us like chicken. That do not like chicken. I go to some restaurants and the first thing is like before they even take my order, they're like, "Would you like the chicken?"
Does that really happen to you?
Yeah. Something. Yeah. That's
Wow.
I do. But
You
yes.
put that on your bio.
So these are all stereotypes. These are all oversimplified generalizations about a particular group. Are they true?
No.
Are they true?
It could be true about a certain person, but it wouldn't be true about the whole group.
Okay. Do you think there's a black person who doesn't like chicken?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there's a white person who's dumb?
Yeah.
Do you think there's there might be an Asian person who's not good at physics?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, what can we say about these stereotypes? How should we let them influence, or should we let them influence? What should we say about it?
I think you should experience talking to someone about it instead of like having your own opinion without any experience.
Okay, so judge after you meet the person instead of before?
Yeah.
Don't prejudge, prejudice?
You should never really listen to stereotypes at all because they're just made up by people who just perceive something else and they just want to like make something up for themselves. Maybe get everybody to hate against some people, like all communists are bad, like that. You never know, they might be good. Some might be really nice.
If you told me that Italians talk with their hands, not all of them, but I'd say that most of my family does. And if you said that Northerners are pushy and self-absorbed, I'd tell you as a whole, you might be right. But there's a lot of the stereotypes that I'm hearing that are not entirely true. Like not, okay, 90% of the Italians don't talk, or 10% don't talk with their hands, but as a whole, I would agree with that stereotype. And I'm wondering which ones are harmful, or which ones are observational, or which ones are, you know, it's a very curious line. You know, like, do Southerners like NASCAR more than Northerners? Yep, they do. Look at the TV. I mean, look at you can trace it to the truth. Now, some of them are not born of truth, and some of them are born of hatred. But I mean, I have a hard time saying that I don't disagree with a lot of them because a lot of them, I personally, are true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. it's funny, they came from somewhere, these stereotypes. They came from somewhere. So do some of them fit some of the time, or, even maybe a large percentage of the time? Do Irish people have a tendency to drink? There's a tendency. I mean, it's part of the culture. But are all Irish drunks? No. That's where you get yourself into trouble. Do some Italians speak with do a lot of Italians talk with their hands? Yeah. Yes. Sure. But when you start saying anybody, then you're getting yourself into it. All Italians, all women, all short people. Okay, so when you catch yourself looking at a person through the stereotype lens, what do you do? Like I did with my son's roommate. I assumed when he told me he was a pianist that he's a classical pianist. Now that isn't a harmful thing to think. It hurt his feelings, I think, a little bit though, because I just assumed, because he's Asian, that's. And then he even made a point. He said, "Oh, you probably think I'm a classical pianist, don't you?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he's like, "Well, there you go. I caught you." So when you catch yourself seeing the world through a stereotype lens, what do you do?
You don't always pay attention to it because everyone's different in their opinions and their feelings and what they do. So, I don't know, you just don't pay attention to it.
Okay. What do you do instead?
If you do think about it like that, maybe you could be like, wait, I shouldn't think like that. I should think of them, I should wait to see what they do and how they act and what their behavior is, and then I can judge. Just say that to yourself.
What else? Anybody agree, disagree? What do you do? Brandon.
What was the question again? I had it. But
When you catch yourself, or maybe how do you catch yourself so you don't stereotype people, or if you do catch yourself, what do you do?
Well, I think a lot of us at a young age are, really through life experiences with encountering different types of people. Like we create our own really stereotypes and we learn stereotypes. So after a while of just, being around people, like you notice you start, realizing it a lot less or a lot more depending on life experience and how extreme it was.
Okay. Somebody else.
I don't know about anybody else, but when I see people, particularly a stereotype that affects me, I'm almost proud of people when I see people breaking it. Like if I see somebody, like you're talking about, your dad I cook at my house, and I get a kick out of it. I'm like, that's good. I'm glad that they're not doing what you'd expect them to do. They're doing something different.
And I proudly watch Project Runway with my wife and feel macho the whole time. Well, I try. It's okay. All right, how can we use this conversation to build relationships? Brandon.
Well, if we really have our feelings clear about a certain person, based on their looks, like you really have to get to know them personally before you can try to really judge them on who they are. It's like more of a character thing than it is just being prejudiced to them when you meet them.
Awesome. Someone else.
You can join like different groups of people. Like at the high school, I know like we don't have like stereotypes like other schools might have. So you can just go and join like other groups of people.
So just mingle with lots of different types, so to speak. Okay.
Maybe in the future you won't try to judge people by what they are, by stereotypes.
Okay, so having had a conversation like this, maybe you'll question your stereotypes or your prejudices. Do you think we all have prejudices? Yeah. Even the most tolerant, most accepting people in the world, we catch ourselves sometimes at having, a preconceived notion about a certain type of person. My former karate instructor, Mr. Antonides, was a social studies teacher in Corning, New York. Every year during spring break, he dressed in tattered clothes and lived on the street in New York City for a week. And he lived in a box on the street and watched the way people responded to him. Here he is, like 5th degree black belt in karate, PhD in history, brilliant man, gentle person, giving person, but the way people treated him when he was homeless was like he wasn't even there, or he was just a piece of garbage on the street. And he used that for a couple of reasons. He used it to teach his students about prejudice and the way, the plight of the homeless. But also he did it for himself to keep himself humble, to keep a sense of humility that I could be like this, anytime. So interesting, and it helps, that experience when he would actually break out of his role as the homeless person and have a conversation with somebody, you could see their like brain flipping over in their head. Oh my God, I had all these prejudices about homeless people. He must be crazy. He must be a drunk. And he just turns out to be this brilliant teacher who's just pretending to be a homeless person. But you could just see, maybe I shouldn't prejudge everybody that I meet. Somebody else, anybody else? So, being aware of your prejudices, and we all have them. We learn them from our parents. We learn them from being in America. Watching TV, the stereotypes that are like pushed on us by the media and so forth. Just being aware that we have them and just trying to question them, and again, get to know the individual rather than the type. Any other things to talk about regarding? Would this be a good conversation to have at your school?
Yeah, it would be.
Did I tell you about the kid who transferred? I don't think I did. When I taught seniors. Okay, so imagine what I might be prejudging here. April, a new student transfers into a senior year of high school. April, transferring into a new school. Okay, what might I be thinking? He's gotten in trouble at his other school. This is like the school of last resort. Okay, so that's one thing. He comes in to meet with me to get caught up in a little bit before he even started class, and this is 1990. So, a long time ago, before you were born. He comes in with dreadlocks, white kid, dreadlocks, pierced everything, pierced eyebrow, pierced nose, pierced tongue, pierced who knows, and tattoos everywhere. Okay, so what's my prejudice, maybe? He's a punk. Well, how's he going to do in my classroom? I'm going to be looking for the bad, right? And turns out, this kid, I wish I had him in my class all year. He was brilliant. He was very well read. He was an excellent English student. He added to the discussion. He was just transferred up because his parents moved, and he didn't want to stay back at his old school alone without his parents for the last couple months of school. He said, it doesn't really matter. I'll just transfer up here. He had like a 4.0 in his school. He just blew all my stereotypes about that kind of kid right out of the water. And I said to myself, kicked myself one more time and said, you got to get to know the individual before you make the judgment. So, every day we can constantly be, there was a famous case of the 60 Minutes did this thing on this African-American man, long dreadlocks, he wore funky clothes, and he'd walk through these neighborhoods in Rodeo Drive and Beverly Hills and so forth in California, and people kept calling the cops on him. He lived in the neighborhood. He was, I can't remember what he did, but he was a well-educated African-American man who just chose to wear his hair that way, and he was very successful. But he just liked to test people's stereotypes, and you'd see him walking through the neighborhood. They'd call the cops. Oh, he must be trying to rob us. So again, don't judge a book by its cover.
The subject of the next video is problem solving. And in it, we will cover a number of different problems, including bullying and refusing to do schoolwork.